The night started like any other. The streetlights buzzed softly, casting long yellow shadows across the cracked asphalt. Cars passed occasionally, their headlights briefly illuminating the quiet neighborhood before disappearing again. It was the kind of night people forgot as soon as they got home. He had stepped outside because he couldn't sleep. His phone buzzed in his hand as he leaned against a low concrete fence in front of his apartment building. A message from a friend. A missed call from his sister earlier. Nothing urgent, just noise filling the silence. Then he heard shouting. At first, it sounded distant, like an argument carried by the wind. But within seconds, the voices grew louder, sharper, angrier. He straightened up and looked down the street. 2 police vehicles were parked near the corner, blue lights flashing, but sirens off. A young man stood between them, hands raised, his back pressed against the hood of one car. An officer towered over him, shouting words that echoed down the empty road. People slowed their steps. A woman across the street stopped walking her dog. Someone peeked through a window curtain. He felt a familiar tightening in his chest. He'd seen videos like this before. Everyone had. Videos that started calmly and ended in screams, sirens, and headlines. Without thinking too much about it, he lifted his phone. The camera opened. The red recording appeared. He didn't move closer. He didn't say anything. He just recorded. The officer's voice cracked with anger. The young man against the car kept repeating the same words over and over, his voice shaking. "I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything." Another officer stood nearby, hand resting casually on his belt. He scanned the area, eyes sharp, alert. That was when his gaze landed on the phone. Their eyes met. For a split second, nothing happened. The officer's face was unreadable. Then his jaw tightened. "Hey!" the officer barked. "You, put that phone away." He swallowed. His heart began to race. But he didn't stop recording. "I'm just standing here," he said. "I'm not interfering." "You don't need to record," the officer snapped, taking a step toward him. The second officer glanced over. The shouting stopped. The young man against the car went silent, eyes wide, as if he sensed something shifting. He felt the weight of the moment pressing down on him. He'd watched countless videos where this exact exchange happened. He knew his rights. He knew he was allowed to record in public. "I'm allowed to film," he said, his voice calmer than he felt. The officer laughed, short and cold. "Not tonight, you're not." That was when things changed. The officer closed the distance between them in seconds. A hand shot out, grabbing his wrist. The phone jerked, the image blurring wildly. "Hey!" he shouted. "Don't touch me." The camera caught the ground as he stumbled back. His breathing became loud, panicked. "Turn it off," someone yelled. Hands pushed him against the fence. A face leaned into view. "You think you're smart?" the officer said. "You think this is funny?" "I'm not doing anything wrong," he said, his voice trembling now. The sound of metal clicking echoed. Handcuffs snapped around his wrists. Around them, the street had gone completely silent. No one spoke. No one moved. Minutes later, he was shoved into the back of a patrol car. The door slammed shut, sealing him inside. The world outside became muffled, distant. The flashing lights reflected off the glass, making everything feel unreal, like a dream he couldn't wake up from. His phone was gone. At the station, time lost all meaning. They took his shoelaces, his belt, his watch. They sat him on a cold bench beneath buzzing fluorescent lights that never dimmed. Officers walked past as if he didn't exist. When he asked why he was there, no one answered. When he asked for his phone, someone laughed. "You'll get it back," an officer said. Eventually, hours passed. He replayed the moment over and over in his mind. The instant the officer noticed the phone, the look in his eyes, the sudden shift from authority to anger, he knew the video mattered. He knew what it showed. That was why they wanted it. Finally, just before morning, they brought him into a small room, a metal table, 2 chairs, a camera mounted in the corner. An officer sat across from him, folding his hands neatly on the table. "You caused a disturbance," the officer said calmly. "You interfered with police business." "I was just recording," he said. The officer leaned back. "You should have minded your business." "I didn't touch anyone. You refused a lawful order." "I have the right." The officer raised a hand, silencing him. "Let me give you some advice," he said. "Delete the video. Go home. Forget this ever happened." "I don't have the video," he said. "You took my phone." The officer smiled. "Exactly." His stomach dropped. "You can make this easy," the officer continued, "or you can make it very hard. What happens if I don't?" The officer leaned forward, lowering his voice. "Then things start happening to you. Court dates, charges, lost time, lost money." He stared at the table, his hands clenched together. He realized then that this wasn't about the original stop. By the time he was released, the sun was rising. The streets were waking up. People heading to work had no idea what had happened overnight. He walked home in silence. Later that day, he checked his phone. The video was gone, deleted. His gallery was empty, his cloud storage wiped. Even the trash folder was cleared. For hours, he sat on his couch staring at the blank screen, feeling something heavy settle in his chest. Then a notification popped up, a message from an unknown number. "You should be grateful we let you go." He didn't reply. That night, he couldn't sleep again. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw flashing lights, heard metal cuffs clicking shut. Days passed, then weeks. Nothing happened at first. No charges, no calls. Just when he started to think it was over, a letter arrived in the mail. A court summons. Charges, obstruction, disorderly conduct. His hands shook as he read it. In court, the officers told their story. Calm, confident, polished. They said he was aggressive, that he refused to comply, that he interfered. When his lawyer asked for evidence, the room went quiet. "There is no body camera footage available," the prosecutor said. "No civilian footage?" the lawyer asked. The officers shook their heads. "There was a video," one officer said, "but the suspect deleted it." He felt the room spin. Weeks later, the charges were dropped quietly. No explanation, no apology, but the damage was done. He had missed work, spent money he didn't have, lost sleep, lost trust. The experience changed him. He stopped filming, stopped speaking up, stopped believing that doing the right thing would protect him. Months later, a video went viral online. Different city, different night, a bystander recording police. The same words, the same anger, the same sudden shift. This time, the footage survived. The officers were suspended. Investigations were launched. Headlines exploded. As he watched the video, his hands clenched into fists. That could have been his footage. That could have been his proof. He realized something then. They didn't turn on him because he was wrong. They turned on him because he was right, because the camera threatened them, because the truth once recorded can't be controlled. And that is exactly why they were so afraid of it.